So children, welcome back to our online classes. Today we are going to start with another poem by Robert Frost, that is Fire and Ice. It is one of his most beautifully written poem, and we have already done two poems. One was in grade 9, that was The Road Not Taken, right? The second one that we have done right in this session was Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. Both these poems show us how the poet is beautifully connected with nature and how he connects human beings and the daily issues that we face in our life with nature. So before I start, I will just take a few lines. I'll just say a few lines on the introduction of the poem. Initially, it was published in the Harper's Magazine. The poet here tries to turn our thoughts towards many serious questions. The poet thinks upon what would be the final ending of this world, like how we are going to end up. This world is obviously going to come to an end, but how and because of what this world is going to meet its end, that is the question put up by the poet. Whether it is going to end up by the extreme heat or extreme cold. Now understand very well, children, these two situations, extreme heat and extreme cold, are not the weather situations. They are metaphorical. Metaphorical means comparison. They have been compared to certain circumstances that is prevailing right now. Extreme heat is compared to extreme desire, extreme greed of man, because of which man is becoming very losing his humanity, and man is becoming very different, and slowly, gradually the man is walking towards his end. Gradually the man is walking towards his end. He is not even understanding that the end is so close, and he is not at all bothered to change his behavior because he is unaware. He is unaware of his behavior, where it is taking him. Extreme greed, extreme desire is taking him to his end. So this situation is described as extreme heat, and extreme cold means extreme hate. When we are showing our extreme hate for each other, extreme jealousy, extreme anger for each other, all these evil qualities are put under extreme coldness. So man is slowly walking towards his final ending without understanding any consequences or resulting situation due to his behavior. So that is why the poet has raised a very important question, and we are going to see how the question is put up in front of us. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I side with those who favor fire. But if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So you see that here I have just read the poem out. It is a very small poem, but all the small poems of Robert Frost hold a deep and very big meaning. So we are moving on to the first paragraph, that is, some say the world will end in fire. So fire and ice, why are these two words put together in a title? Because it is a kind of oxymoron that the poet wants to show. These two situations are dwelling. These two situations are there, are present right now in the world, right? Fire and ice, desire, greed and jealousy hatred. These situations are currently there and they are very much troubling us, very much bothering us about our life and lifestyle. What might you predict the poem will be about? What is your prediction about the poet? About the poem? Your prediction is the poem will give us an answer about how the world is going to meet its end. Right? That is what we are going to find out from this poem. Now, I am coming to the first stanza. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I side with those who favor fire. The poet believes fire and desire are correlated. The poet believes that the fire and desire are correlated. They are very much comparable to each other, and from his previous experience with desire, the poet thinks that the world is going to end in fire. Desire means what, you know, children? Desire means extreme greed, extreme passion for something. I want something. That want becomes a desire when that want is extreme. So man is suffering from this extreme nature of asking or wanting something. So that is why the poet thinks, because of his extreme nature of wanting something, the world, he might be meeting the end in fire. The world or the humanity or the human life will be ending in fire. We move on and we see that the second stanza, but if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction eyes is also great and would suffice. Now see, here the author relates hate with eyes and has experienced enough hate to know that it could also destroy the world. But if I had to perish twice, but if the world has to meet its end twice, first due to extreme desire and second due to extreme hate. So if the world has to meet its end twice, I think I know. The author, the poet thinks he knows enough of hate. He has faced enough hate in his life. To say that he has faced so much hate in his life, he is confident and he is saying that that is also an ending that is also like ice. Enough hate, spreads coldness. Enough, just like enough greed, enough hate spreads coldness like ice. Jealousy, hate, anger, these things spread enough coldness among human beings. So that is also a very great, very big reason to destroy the world. To say that for destruction, ice is also great, hate is also great, and would suffice and would be enough reason. It would justify the ending of the world. Now we continue with the connotations. Connotations mean meanings and the various important lines. Fire is the symbol for desire. Ice is the symbol for hate. The author's connections imply that these emotions can end the world. Why did the author connect with these emotions? Because he is very confident that imply means connections make us understand. It is understood. The author's connections is understood and it is very clear that these emotions, fire and ice, desire and hate, can end this world. These words are also opposites, yet they both will end the world. They are hell and heaven different from each other. When two opposite situations, when two opposite words are expressed, we know them as oxymoron. And here also we find the two emotions are far opposite from each other, yet they are both very good reason to end the world. This is a paradox. Now see, like oxymoron, paradox is also contradictory yet true statement. So the words are a symbol of paradox also. They are contradictory. Contradictory means opposite, and yet they are true. And the author shows us these extremes can both have the same result. What is the same result? Children, end of the world. The last word is what? Suffice. That is the last word. The last word of the last line seems understated compared to the topic of the world ending. The speaker sounds matter of fact about the causes of the ending. Understated means it is not giving you enough reason. The word is not giving us enough reason, enough justification to the topic of the ending of the world. You are not actually getting the answer that what is going to end the world. He is keeping us in a question of doubt. But the speaker is also sounding like matter of fact. That is a practical cause that he has shown us, that these are the practical causes of the ending of the world. But the speaker never tells us which one is going to end the world. So we are in a doubt. Any one or both of them might be the end of the world. Look for sarcasm, understatement and hyperbole. What is the meaning of sarcasm? You must be knowing. Sarcasm means mockery. The poet is actually mocking at the humanity, at the mankind, that we have overcrossed all our limitations. We have crossed our boundaries, and now we are into the extreme nature of our desire and our hate. And so the poet is actually making a sarcastic comment that the world is going to end either with hate or with fire. Understatement, because of the word suffice, that maybe ice will be the reason for ending of the world. So it is an understatement in the sense maybe both of them will be the reason. Not only ice, not only hate, both of them will be the reason for the end of the world. And hyperbole, what is the meaning of hyperbole? Hyperbole is exaggeration. Maybe the poet is exaggerating our human emotions. Maybe we are not that bad. But still, due to the circumstances, due to the situations that the poet is seeing around us, the poet is thinking that we have crossed our limits. But who knows? The poet is exaggerating. Perhaps we have not crossed our limits. We are within limits. Whenever we feel like we can change and we can look forward to a new world, to a better world. Right? We are moving on to the theme. Relationships can be destroyed, children, by wanting something too much or by hating something too much. This has been connected explicitly, means openly. The end of relationship has been connected openly to the end of the world. International relations can also meet its end like this. When family relations, when friendships, when any kind of good relations break up and can be destroyed by wanting something too much or by hating something too much, he has connected these. And the poet thinks that all relationships, all international relationships the end of the world will obviously come to its end because of our reasons. What are the two reasons that he has shown? The relationship can come to an end. All things can come to an end because of fire and ice. What is the main cause? One is desire, the other one is ice. The desire, one is fire, the other one is ice. So fire stands for desire and ice stands for what? Hate. So that is all for the theme of the poem. Throughout the poem we see that how the poet is struggling to understand and put forward the message that yes, the world will come to its end, but he has not given the exact reason. Might be one or might be both will be there to end the world. So there is enough time for all of us. Maybe the poet is exaggerating, maybe the poet is overthinking, but with whatever time we have got in our hands, the new world, the new life is always waiting for us. We can make it, we can break it, provided we are aware of our behavior. We are aware of what we want and how much we want. What we hate and how much we hate. If you are hating somebody too much, that is leading you to more of ice. If you are wanting something too much, it is leading you to fire. So keep your emotions as much as possible in control. Do not be too much covered with fire. Do not be too much covered with ice also. That will bring a balance, and our life will become more beautiful than what the poet is imagining. The world will never meet an end due to fire or due to ice. This is the promise that you children can hold for the future world. You are our inspiration, you are our goodness, and this is the promise that you can hold for our future world. Right, children? Thank you and have a nice day. Right? So now we are going to move on to the literary devices of the poem. We have understood the title of the poem. We have also understood the theme of the poem, and we have also seen how the two vital reasons, fire and ice, the two vital causes have been put forward to be the main reason or the main cause for the ending of the world. Right? So we are now going to move on to the literary devices. Right? So alliteration. Here, what is the meaning of alliteration? Repetition of the consonant sound. Now, in the same line, I am seeing this line, I hold with those who favor fire. Favor fire. F sound or the F consonant sound is repeated immediately one after the other. Favor fire in the same line. So alliteration means repetition of the consonant sound. I have already taught you. It is just a revision I am doing with you, that repetition of the consonant sound in the words, consecutive words in the same line. So favor fire appears to be an example of alliteration. We move on to imagery. So first literary device is alliteration. Second literary device is imagery. Imagery means feeling the words through your five senses. Through all your five senses, when particular words are felt, that time we can call it as an example of imagery. Here we have not the word but a complete line here. Some say the world will end in fire. To say, this is one line. The second line, to say that for destruction ice is also great. So there are two lines that are stating the examples of imagery. First one, some say the world will end in fire, right? And second line, to say that for destruction ice is also great. So when we are reading the lines, we are imagining the world might come to an end due to fire. We are imagining that. We are able to imagine. Through all our senses, we are able to feel that yes, the heat of the world or the heat of the nature of human being can bring the world to an end. And the second one, to say that for destruction, ice is also great. To say that the world will come to an end, for that, yes, ice is also great. Coldness, aloofness, hatred, jealousy. Okay, this is also a great cause. So we can imagine the words at a broader length, at a broader perspective, or at a broader view. We can think, we can imagine the word fire and ice in these two lines. Okay, now we are moving on to the third important literary device, that is personification. What is personification? I have already taught you, like comparing inanimate objects to animate objects, especially human beings. Here we are seeing that fire and ice both have been compared to destruction, destroying the world, right? So destruction is possible, is a quality, I'm sorry to say, is a quality of human being. A human mind is very capable of destroying anything, anywhere, right? Since the human mind has got so much of potential, and fire and ice have been compared to that potential, that is why here it is an example of personification, right? We are moving on to rhyme scheme. A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B. Right? So if you are having any doubts with the rhyme scheme, the rhyming words you please check, and then if you have difficulties, please personally connect me. I have mentioned the rhyme scheme as A, B. Okay, just check the rhyming scheme of the last words of the poem. A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B. Right? So that is the end of the poem, end of the literary device. So get ready for some quick assignments, right? Take care. Be good.